Junior GP action awaits here at the Circuito de Jerez, Ángel Nieto in the south of Spain. We're here bringing you 5 races of action across the day. I'm Kiko Giles, and alongside me, Steve English. Steve, it's great to be here, an iconic venue, one that has always delivered, and today promises to be absolutely no exception.
Yeah, there's nothing like coming to Jerez for Grand Prix classes, and certainly today we should see some great racing across all 3 classes. The beauty of the Junior GP classes is we get the Moto 3 class, the European Talent Cup, and Moto 2, so plenty of variety all the way through the day, and most importantly, plenty of good racing.
There's 5 races to come, 2 in the Junior GP class, 1 in the Moto 2 class. That's in the middle of it all, on either side of that. And booking the end of the day in, the Hawkers European Talent Cup. We'll come to all of that very, very soon. But this was last time out in Barcelona. This was Junior GP. It was action right from the start. Saifood and Asman originally got the whole shot, but it was Jose Antonio Rueda who would go on to win not 1, but 2 races. Filippo Farioli was right in the mix as well, but out front, it was Rueda. 3 victories on the bounce. He's looking to make it 4 this weekend. Could he make it 5? It's a double header. That's not happened for a little while. This was race 2. It was Boazri who got the launch that time around, but he would go backwards. He dropped back all the way through the race. He did score points, though, on the Asia talent team. There's a pile-up for Eddie O'Shea. That was Boazri getting forced off by David Salvador. In the start of the race, he did pick his way back through, though, to get points. Rueda was gone again at the front. It was a battle between Farioli, Piqueras and Asman. No one could catch Rueda, though. He's leading the championship rather handsomely. And this is back today, the Circuito de Jerez, Ángel Nieto. It is cloudy, it's far from ideal conditions, 22 degrees air temperature, 27 degrees track temperature, so it's a lot cooler than it has been at any other point this weekend. But that doesn't dampen the mood on track. We've promised great action. We're going to be going through the grid very, very soon. But Steve, coming into this round, who are we looking at as the contenders?
Well, we're looking at Jose Antonio Rueda on the number 99 machine. Like you said, Kiko, he's come here 4 in a row. He's trying to make it 5 in a row this weekend. He's been in sensational form all the way through this season, whether you're looking in the Junior GP, where he has 3 wins on the bounce, or also in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, where he's also leading that championship with 3 wins and podiums in, I think, 5 out of the 8 races. So he's the rider to keep an eye on, but he's also going to do a bit of chasing today with a bit of luck.
There is, and there's a lot of chasing to be done, particularly for the number 95. Colin Vire is on pole position. Like we said, we're going to go through the grid very soon, but it's the first pole position for him. He's going to be really up for this today, isn't he?
Yeah, Vire, of course, Dutch rider, and I was speaking to Michael van der Mark about him, actually, just to see what van der Mark had to say, and he says he's a talented rider. It's going to be interesting to see how he deals with the pressure of being right at the front of the field, though.
Here he is, he's on pole position. He's only 16th in the championship with 11 points, but that doesn't tell the full story. He's hit a bit of form of late.
Yeah, and certainly for Vire, the first career pole, but it's the big step that he's made this weekend. His best previous qualifying effort was a top 10 spot, so big step made. What was really impressive was he set the times all the way through the weekend, whether you're looking at the Friday tests, the practice sessions, the qualifying sessions. He's been quick all the way through. He
has been quick, and he has actually seen off the charge of the championship leader, which is Jose Antonio Rueda, who is in the middle of the front row. He's won all 3 of the last 3 races. He is by far and away the rider to beat. And coming into this, every round's a home round more or less for him, but he is from down here in Sevilla, so this is feeling like home.
Yeah, and I think the one thing about Rueda is he's got the confidence that comes from winning a lot of races already this season, whether you're in the Junior GP or in the Red Bull Rookies Cup. What's interesting is the pole sitter Vire had a podium here in the Rookies Cup as well, so he's got some good form at Jerez. Obviously, Rueda has a good form pretty much everywhere, as you can see all the way through this season. Top 5s in all 3 races.
5 top 5s, a worst finish of 4th. That's why he's the championship leader with 108 points. So Rueda really is a rider to beat. But completing this front row, a rider, Steve, that me and you have been looking at now over the last year or so, and someone who has shown great signs of improvement. Filippo Farioli on the Aspar KTM.
Yeah, Farioli, he's been really strong of late. If you look back to the last round in Catalonia, he had the pace to be able to bridge a big gap at one stage, come away with 2 podium finishes. In Valencia, he retired out of a podium spot as well, so he's been in good form lately. and certainly he'll expect to be able to carry that form all the way through. He's up there 5th in the championship standings, as you can see, but really close to the riders in front of him. That battle between, I think it's 2nd all the way down to Ángel Piqueras and 6th in the standings. Only 12 points between them, so this weekend's races could see a big impact in those championship spots.
Just a little bit of housekeeping while it's relevant. Jose Antonio Ueda was holding up, or in the bike, there was a piece of paper. That's because Facundo Giambias, who is his teammate, isn't here, was injured in the last round, and he'll be looking to make a comeback later on. And Filippo Favioli, for his Hawkers European Talent Cup teammate, Joel Esteban, who is your series leader there, holding up the banner just to hopefully he gets well soon. He's out with illness. David Alonso doing the same. P4 for him, Steve. Yeah,
Alonso, of course, he comes in as a real rider that a lot's expected of. He was the Red Bull Rookies Cup winner last year. He's a talented rider, but this season hasn't really gone quite according to plan. The season opened in Estoril, a top 5 finish. He won in Valencia, but since then the Rueda train started to roll, and Alonso's been left a little bit behind. This weekend is massive for Alonso on the number 80 machine.
He has been a winner here before in the European Talent Cup, so he'll be looking to repeat that success and at least get back on the podium. That's got to be the aim for the Colombian. 16 years old. He's actually from Madrid, but he takes Colombian nationality. 5th on the grid. We're going to be catching up with them very, very soon. Here it is. It's Saifuddin Azman. Now, Azman is a bit of a specialist at Jerez. We got a podium there already this year. He's 3rd in the championship. He won at Jerez. Sorry, this is at Catalunya. He won at Catalunya last year, so he comes to Jerez on a real high, double podium last time out, Steve. And really, can Azman make it 3 on the bounce?
Well, the one thing for Azman is that it's all about trying to build that confidence at somewhere that isn't Catalunya. But we've seen through the course of this year that he has been able to get stronger and stronger as the year went on. He was pretty good in Valencia. He was able to come away with a top 5 finish. Then those podiums last time out should give him some confidence. He's also been in World Championship racing this season as well in the Moto3 class.
Ángel Piqueras lines up 6th. He was on the podium last time out in Catalunya. He was 3rd. He was on the front row last time out at Catalunya. He was 36th today. He's had a podium already. That was at Valencia earlier on in the year. And as you can see, besides Estoril, where he was taken out in a crash with Harrison Voigt, his consistency hasn't actually been that bad. Just that victory missing for Piqueras.
Yeah, the one thing for Piqueras in the championship standings, he's 6th, but like I said, there's only 12 points between him and David Salvador up in 2nd spot as well. He's been a Red Bull Rookies Cup race winner this season, only a couple of weeks ago in the Saxon Ring, so Piqueras has a bit of confidence, but it's up to him to really translate that into podium finishes here in Junior GP.
And in Valencia, of course, if we look back at Valencia, Piqueras had to start from the back of the grid due to riding slowly in all 5 sectors, and therefore he had to come through the field, and he did so with great gusto. David Salvador, coming into this season, was one of the favourites. Hasn't quite delivered. He is still 2nd in the championship, though, the 19-year-old. 3 podiums this year, all finishes inside the top 6. He's just missing that cherry on top of the cake with victory.
Yeah, just turned 19 last week, and he started the season really strong with those 3 podiums on the bounce. But for him, the big thing has to be to try and get that first win of the campaign.
8th place on the grid is Harrison Voigt. Voigt's coming into 2022, back into 2022 at the start of this year from a nasty injury sustained last year, but has been a rider that has shown good potential. The number 29 lines up in the middle of the 3rd row and really could be one to grab a podium out of today.
Yeah, he had a podium in the Rookies Cup in Saxon Ring a couple of weeks ago, so Harrison comes here with a little bit of form, and you can see there, obviously, the Valencia races which he missed. Big crash in Estoril, left him with a bit of an injury, so that's what's put him on the back foot this season.
Best race finish of 6th last time out. Obviously, that's what those were his only 2 races, so he's had a bit of hard luck at the start of the season, but Harrison Voigt has absolutely got the potential to grab a podium here today. Colin Vire on pole position with the team photo. We're going to go to 9th place in a minute on the grid. That's Tachakorn Bawazri. He's the Thai rider. He's a real sensation. Won the opening race of the year after a track limits penalty for Jose Antonio Ueda. Bawazri, a race winner this year, luckless last time out. Steve, what can we expect from him here?
He's the oldest rider in the field, but don't make you think that that means he's the most experienced rider in the field. Far from it. Coming from the Asian Championships, he's had to really build himself up. This year he's made a big step forward, whether in the Rookies Cup or in Junior GP as well. So Bawazri has made big steps over the last few years. The culmination of that was the race victory at the opening race of the season. But the big thing for him now is just to get himself back onto that road to recovery and make sure he's able to get some momentum for the summer.
Yeah, a couple of top 6s here will really do him good. They go to Portimao after this, so Bawazri looking just to get back to some kind of form. He's had a bit of a knockback in Catalonia, as we say, in Valencia as well. He peaked very early on. Now, 10th on the grid, Nicola Fabio Carraro. He's back in the class the last round, actually, and straight back into the top 10 as well. Not bad at all in Catalonia, 10th and 11th, back in Valencia, but it didn't really matter for him there. But top 10 here on the grid, Steve. This could be something special.
Well, Nico's leading the Italian Championship. He's won half the races so far in the Italian Moto3 Championship, so he has some confidence coming into this season. But it's also worth saying that the Italian Championship, it's a little bit different to the junior GP classes, but he's got to carry that confidence into this weekend. For all these riders, it's about getting as much track time as possible out there on a Moto3 machine.
Slowly but surely, everyone making their way off the grid on the 4th row alongside Fabio Carraro, David Almanza. Almanza, 10th in the championship, was in contention for victory back at Valencia before he was taken out by Filippo Fabrioli in the closing stages, but 5th season best last time out in Catalonia. Yeah,
3 top 10s in a row coming into today. He's got a lot of confidence. When you look at Valencia, he actually crashed out of one of the race leading positions, so Almanza has some confidence about him, but now it's about trying to get those podium spots.
12th on the grid and completing that 4th row is Xabi Zuratouza, but Colin Vire is your pole man. Can he deliver at Jerez? A full rundown of your grid then ahead of Junior GP Race 1. Colin Vire, a first pole of his career and a first for the Netherlands. Jose Antonio Rueda is your championship leader in 2nd. 3rd, Filippo Fabrioli. David Alonso, Colombian, in 4th place, ahead of Saifuddin Asman, who makes it 5 different nationalities inside the top 5. Angel Piqueras is 6th. Further down the field, Brit Watch, Eddie O'Shea, 14th on the grid. He actually qualified 15th, but because of a penalty for another rider, he goes up 1 place. He'll be looking to get back in the points after missing out in Barcelona last time out. Kiko Giles and Steve English taking you through the action. This is the first of 5 action-packed races here at the iconic, timeless classic Circuito de Jerez Ángel Nieto. It's got Ángel Nieto in its name, Steve. This place has got history and bags of it. Yeah,
lots of history here. Always a good atmosphere whenever we're here for the Grand Prix during the course of a MotoGP season. But for the Junior GP riders, this is a place where they need to perform well. This is where there's always back-to-back comparisons between these riders and the riders that have stepped up to the World Championship. 16 laps of action around Jerez, expected to go right down to the last lap.
Yeah, we've seen lots of races decided here. None other, on the last corner, none other than last year. 2021, Scott Ogden, of course, now in Moto3, the World Championship itself. He took his first victory. David Munoz was a winner here last year. There's been 17 winners in this class from 19 races staged. No one on this grid has previously won a race here, so we're guaranteed another winner here. Who are we looking at, Steve? Who's been fast right from Friday? Vire on pole is 1.
Yeah, obviously Colin Vire on the pole position there, the number 95 machine. He's 2nd in the train here, and for him, this is a big opportunity. And the reason for that is he was really strong in the cooler conditions, especially during Friday and Saturday's running. It's a lot cooler this morning than it has been the rest of the weekend. We got a lot of cloud cover here in Jerez that is going to burn off as the day progresses. So that right now is when the track is in its ideal conditions. So for someone like Vire aiming for his first career podium, this is his opportunity.
Talking about this circuit, Steve, we're looking at turn 6 now, Danny Pedrosa corner. Where are the hot spots at this track to get past your opposition?
Turn 6 is your key overtaking opportunity, but you can make moves into the last corner, into the first corner as well. Jerez on a Moto3 bike basically means there's a lot of places you can make some overtaking moves. Even whenever we were walking around the track yesterday during free practice sessions, we saw riders making moves through here as well. Into the stadium complex on the last lap, this is where you're trying to set up those moves at the end of the lap, because from this point onwards, the track just builds momentum all the way through for these Moto3 machines, and it goes right down to the last corner.
Quick nod to your championship standings. Jose Antonio Rueda, 39 points clear of David Salvador. Whatever happens in this race, he will be the championship leader going into race 2 this afternoon. Everyone just trying to get heat in the tyres. It is the coolest point it's been all over the weekend, Steve. We woke up this morning and it was cool. What difference will that have on these riders? They've been running in temperatures of way over 30 degrees centigrade all weekend, so it's a little bit easy for them now.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much ideal conditions. There'll be good grip out there for these bikes. As it gets hotter here in Jerez, you reach a certain point where the track just gives up a lot of grip. So right now for these bikes, this is where it's at its best. The riders are going to feel a lot cooler on the bike. It is still warm, there's no two ways about that, but compared to what we've been enduring at times through the course of this weekend so far, it's a lot more pleasant this morning, but it is going to get hotter as the day goes on.
It'll probably be one of the coolest races of the year. year, because I remember back at Estoril when we brought that coverage there, it was warm on race day. Valencia as well. Barcelona's been in a heat wave of late. So here, it's only in the low to mid-20s. It's not too bad. Just before we get underway, Steve, prediction, who's your winner?
I think, obviously, Rueda on the 99 is your favourite coming into this one, but I want to keep an eye on Farioli on the number 7 on the outside the front row. 3 podiums in a row. He's got good form. He's got a lot of confidence. He's the rider I'm keeping an eye on.
Green flag at the back, the number 7 end of Farioli. Steve English's tip for success here. But race 1 at Jerez Junior GP. Lights on in a moment. They're held for a very long time. But now we go, race 1, we're into it. Good start from Colin Vire. Also from the middle of the front row, the 2 Aspar teammates almost collide. That was Farioli and Alonso, who's up to 2nd from 4th on the grid. But it is your pole man who's got the whole shot. Colin Vire leads the way through turn 1. Everyone looks like there's safety through. It's very, very difficult through this part of the course. Jose Antonio Rueda straight into 2nd ahead of David Alonso. And through on the inside, that would look like Asman from 5th on the grid. Back inside the top 5, all cleanly through, Steve.
Yeah, it was Piqueras as well, making those moves down in towards turn 2, but certainly for Piqueras, good move from him on the number 18 to get himself up into those top 5 spots.
Rueda straight for the lead at turn 5, that's the Cito Pons corner. You can do that on the opening lap. 2nd place then. Back to 2nd is your poleman Colin Vire, but don't expect it to stay like that for long. We're coming down the back straight now, if you can call it a back straight. It's not that long. Vire's already alongside Rueda. Will he do him in the braking area? Yes, he will. And David Alonso thinks, I'm going to have a bit of that. Doesn't make the move. So at the moment, yellow flags at turn 5. Not sure who that is. We'll pick that up in a minute. But Colin Vire retakes the lead, coming through turn 7.
Yeah, we saw David Salvador as well on the number 38 machine. He's 2nd in the championship. He's starting to make some progress from the 3rd row of the grid as well.
Number 89 has gone down. That is from the back of the grid. That's Richard Austin. Ben Richard Austin. He's back in this class for the first time this year. Back at the front, Jose Antonio Rueda is doing what he's done best, and that's hit the front early doors. That was into turn number 9, through turn 10 now, back towards the charge to the pit. So 99 Rueda ahead of 95 Vire.
Well, Rueda all the way through this season, everything bar 12 laps so far this campaign. He's been in the top 3 spots, and he loves to lead from the front. He loves to make sure he's the one dictating the pace. He's doing that here on lap 1.
Up the inside, almost that looked like Almanza on Farioli. He almost hit the back of the Italian air, so Almanza coming through the order. That's a great start from Almanza, up from the 4th row. He's up into 9th place, so he's done a very good job there, cleared a couple of riders. Boisry dropped down to 10th, but into turn 1 on lap 2. Rueda, is he going to be the rider to beat? We've got a yellow flag. I think that's at turn 13. Not sure who it is. We'll pick it up in a minute. Coming through turn 2, Rueda leads Vire. Oh dear me.
Oh, that's Gorba on the 32, and then it looks like maybe Daniel Chariz in the 32, and then Gorba as well on the 42.
And judging by the way Chariz is looking at Gorba, that's not Charil's fault. We'll hopefully get a replay of that. Main thing is they're both up and okay. Gorba's actually been showing a little bit of form this season. It's his comeback season to the Junior GPs, obviously in the Red Bull Rookies as well. He walks up pit lane, he'll be out of this. He's got another chance tomorrow, later on, as up the inside comes Vire, and he left no room in the braking area for Jose Antonio Rueda there. So Vire back to the front. Rueda looked like he's on the inside for turn 7. Yes, he is, and he gets that done. So the 99 versus the 95. It's a Honda for Rueda, it's a KTM for Vire, and snap straight across the front. Vire absolutely snapping straight back, doing what he absolutely does, and that's causing a group at the front.
Yeah, Rueda just ran in a little bit hot into some of those corners. That's what opened the door a little bit. And you can see here at this stage, Rueda is going to just pounce on any opportunity, just like we saw from Colin Vire. Both of them want to hit the front, lead from the front. But what's interesting for Vire is he is a podium finisher here in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, so he knows Jerez well. He's got some form here, and he wants to make sure that he's in a position to stay at the front. He knows this is his chance to get his first career podium.
Rueda was swung out onto the green there, Farioli out onto the blue. You can't do that too many times. Just coming up on our timing screen, that the race crash that happened at turn 13 a lap ago is under investigation. David Salvador making moves. That's up into P4 for him, and he's under pressure now from Asman though, up in towards turn 1. Vire on the inside of Rueda. These two are knocking spots off each other. Vire goes through, Rueda looking to come back at him. This is the short, sharp burst up towards turn 2, and Rueda gets it done. These two going at it right from the start. We're only on lap 3.
Yeah, you can see there the fastest lap from David Salvador. We saw him make some progress there the last couple of laps. What's interesting is he's only a couple of hundredths of a second slower than the pole position time. That shows the track conditions we have right now. Yeah,
it's very, very cool in comparison to what we've had all weekend. Oh, Salvador was out on the curve there. He's got to be careful. Don't want to be doing that too many times. David Alonso looking good. in third place, but he's under pressure.
Yeah, Salvador got bundled out there a little bit just on that run down in towards turn 5. Easy to happen here in the Moto3 bikes, but he was able to recover all right from that. He's still in the position to be able to attack in the run down into 6. So Salvador on that 38 machine, second in the Junior GP Championship, and certainly one of the more experienced riders, having been in this class for a few years.
Via back at the front then, so this is, I think, going to be the pattern we're going to see right the way through this race as Rueda comes back. That's at turn 8, the Jorge Martinez Aspar corner. Through they go. Salvador now up into third. He's cleared David Alonso for the time being, whilst Piqueras is having a look at Asman. So just a quick run through your order whilst we've got a pause in the action, if you can say so. Rueda via Salvador and Alonso is your top 4. Then it's Asman, Piqueras, Harrison Voigt up into 7th place. Filippo Farioli from that front row hasn't converted it yet. He's in 8th. Tachkon Barazri has just been bundled back, I think, to 10th because Nicola Fabio Carraro has come through into 9th.
Yeah, Farioli running out wide there onto the blue as well on the outside of the track. So that's 2 laps in a row he's done that. Salvador, nice clean move down the inside as well at the last corner.
Top 2 in the championship. Rueda leads Salvador. Salvador needs to pull points back in on Rueda at this point. It's the halfway point of the season. David Alonso looking on the inside of Vaya, who in turn is looking on the inside of Salvador. They're starting to battle. This is not looking good for them if they want to keep tabs on Jose Antonio Rueda, who's already putting a little bit of time into them.
Yeah, but you can see there another fastest lap from Salvador. That's only 200ths of a second off the pole time as well. So really good stuff from him. He can get his head down and bridge any gap that's there to Rueda, but he needs to make sure that he's clear of Colin Vire and they're not fighting with one another. See Piqueras there, another rider exceeding the track limits on the run through turn 4. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on all the way through this race as well. Race direction, they're certainly going to be keeping an eye on it.
They absolutely are. 13 laps to go as well. You do not want to be running out at this time in the race. Rueda at the moment leads from Via. Alonso having a look at Salvador. Salvador just not quite able to get through in turn on Via. But someone who is impressing me at the moment, Harrison Voigt, he's up inside the top 7. He started 8th, very solid start. He's held his top 8 position from the grid, and he's definitely one to keep an eye on. I'm interested to say, was Asman to cut away? Asman was up the inside of Alonso there. Did he make it stick? Looks like he did. So Sire Food and Asman up inside the top 4 as Harrison Voigt there, I think, was going up the inside of Angel Piqueras. This is a replay into turn 1, Steve. Yeah,
and you should keep an eye here on the 95 as he gets down the inside of Salvador. They've been having a bit of a ding-dong battle the last lap, and certainly for Vire, any time someone's been in front of him, he's been trying to make those moves. He knows this is his chance for finishing on the podium, and that's why you're seeing him really aggressive any chance he gets to be able to make the moves. But Vire doing a really good job here at the start of this race.
Piqueras up the inside of Alonso. That's at the Jorge Lorenzo hairpin that ends this lap. So they blast back out onto the front straight. Salvador fastest lap of this race, 46.5. Don't know what it's going to be this time around. It's 46.2 from Jose Antonio Rueda, so he's dropped the pace. Via's trying to go with him at a 46.2, and that's getting tight in turn 1. Deary me, I think that was Alonso and Piqueras, indeed it was. Rueda fastest lap though, so very, very good stuff at the front from Jose Antonio Rueda. He's starting to pull clear.
Yeah, what's interesting is that obviously Colin Vire last time around still very fast as well, only a 10th of a second slower than Rueda. But with David Salvador up there in 3rd spot, again, it was 4 laps in a row where he's gotten faster and faster with each lap. So that's why we're starting to see them break away as a top 3.
Yeah, and Rueda, you know, that he's breaking away, but he is the fastest rider on this track, and it's given Via that carrot in front of him that's just keeping him on par with the pace, say. Salvador has another look at turn 6, can't get it done this time around. Brit watch, Steve, Eddie O'Shea 16th on the verge of points, just behind Luca Lanetta in 15th place, but expect O'Shea to come through. He started 14th. There's been no further action between the racing incident between Daniel Sharil and Gorba at the final corner, so it's as you were as far as that, nothing to be concerned of.
Yeah, just looking at it on this lap so far, we've seen that in the opening half of the lap, Rueda was able to pull out a couple of 10ths of a second, but now Colin Vire on that 95, just edging back a 10th here, a 10th there.
Vire looks very good through the 3rd sector. That seems to be where he's out at his absolute best between turns 7 and 9 up towards the stadium section. I've seen Rueda, he's going out onto the blue or the green quite a few times, and you've got to be careful at this stage of the race.
Yeah, I think the riders to keep an eye on though right now is Asman and Piqueras, because they've done a good job to latch on to the back of Salvador on the 38 machine, and they're not giving up this one right now. That's why they're starting just to edge themselves a bit closer. Fastest lap last time around by Piqueras. He's in 5th position right now in the number 18 machine.
Someone we didn't talk about coming into this race was Adrian Cruces, who's up into 11th, and he's actually bridged a gap in a battle for 6th now as the front 5 start breaking away. Piqueras with the fastest lap, 46.1. That's very, very fast. 0.2 of a second quicker last time around than Jose Antonio Rueda and Colin Vire. So Piqueras searching for that first victory. He's in the lead group.
Yeah, and Asman on the 63 machine, he was also a 1/10 of a second faster than the race leader as well. So that's boding well for the riders in 4th and 5th position.
Farioli just bundled through on David Alonso there, and he's telling him to come on. He wasn't giving him a hard time or anything. Almanza, look how close he's almost on the grass. Almanza going round the outside. He'd probably have to give that position back. Alonso's on the outside. Oh, it's close. Almanza got that backed in. There was a bit of contact there. Foot off the footrest for Alonso, but through has come Farioli, and that has let Harrison Voigt off the hook.
Yeah, last time around Farioli was still down in the 1:46s. A lot of the riders in this group down in the 47s. That's why he's saying, latch on to me and I'll be able to bring us back to that lead group. As it is, there's probably just too much of a gap starting to break there.
Yeah, you've got to think that Farioli, if he wants to get back in this battle for the podium or for a top 5, he's going to have to start doing the donkey work now. But the problem is he's got David Almanza and David Alonso and now Adrian Cruzes right up with him.
Yeah, but in that lead group as well, next time we see a wider shot, you're going to see Asman on this lap has pulled up another couple of 1/10 of a second. The Piqueras there in the 18, they're running out of track limits there. But it is the 63 Asman that's starting just to make sure that sector by sector he's pulling back a 1/10 of a second. This is good riding from the 63.
We had a meatball flag being waved there for someone. Didn't quite see it. Haven't had anything on our timing screen, so we'll try and pick that up when we can. But very smart riding from the guys at the front now. It started with a bit of pushing and shoving, but they've settled into a rhythm and they've got themselves that gap. So the top 5, really it's the top 4 plus Piqueras now just dropping back a tiny bit. Broken well clear, and then it's the gap back to Harrison Voigt, the number 29 in 6th place, who's leading the group with Filippo Farioli and David Almanza on the purple FIM Mir Racing team. Back at the front, Rueda still with that 0.3 of a second, 0.4 of a second margin. He's just up the road enough to keep himself out of any harm's way. Colin Vire, I am so impressed with this, Steve. We haven't seen this all year, and he's really coming on strong now here at Jerez.
Well, he's got that confidence from having a podium here in rookies, and that pole position yesterday has helped him find something. I know, speaking to a lot of Dutch journalists, they have said that Vire's been a rider to keep an eye on for the last while, but that's why we hit the meatball flag out.
Yes, Kotaro Chiumi is out, number 91. So that's, I don't know where that is. That looks like the Sito Ponds corner. Is there smoke coming out the exhaust? So he's seen it and he's hopefully going to get off track. Yes, he does. So that's the end of the race for the Japanese. He'll be back out in race 2 later on. Meanwhile, back at the front, Colin Vire, we said he was good through that 3rd sector. He's looking very fast. Piqueras out wide, but Asman is your man.
Yeah, Asman 0.2 of a second faster in that last sector than the race leader. He just keeps pulling closer and closer to that lead group. But certainly right now for Rueda, he's the rider under pressure. Yeah,
he's under pressure. Vire looking to the inside, but all line astern at the moment. There's no point making the move right now unless you really feel you have got a lot more pace than the others.
You've watched a Moto 3 race before though, Kiko, yeah?
I have watched many, and mainly with you. And I don't know where that statement even came from, because we have never seen there's no point in making a pass. Of course, there is a point to make a pass. If we do get the unfortunate circumstance of a red flag and you're leading at 2/3 distance, then you can be in a prime position.
Fastest lap last time around from Piqueras at the back of this group. He lost ground a couple of laps ago when he ran wide through the penultimate corner. He's made it all back up now as well. The fastest lap last time around at 46.1. It was 0.3 of a second faster than Rueda.
Yeah, it looked like he did run out onto track limits though for that, so I'm not sure whether we're going to get any penalties coming the way of Piqueras very soon. Track limits warning right on cue for Ángel Piqueras in 5th place. So not very good for the number 18, but hopefully if he can keep it all tidy for the rest of the race, he should be okay. Just noticed coming out of turn 2 a few corners ago, Colin Vire looked like he made a mistake, but he's instantly caught back up as Piqueras makes a move on the number 63 of Asman. That's for 4th place, but Vire made the mistake on the exit of turn 2 and he's caught back up. That, to me, Steve, shows that he has got some pace.
Yeah, lost a couple of tenths with that mistake, but last sector around using the slipstream pulled back a couple of tenths of a second down the back straight. So certainly for Vire, you can see there just how close he is. Rueda has eased himself off right now. He's just making sure that he's not making mistakes. His pace has dropped off into the mid 1:46. It's still very fast lap times around here in the Moto 3 machine, but that's why we've got this group really congested now, compacted on the mid part of this race. We're still 8.5 laps to go, so we're just about to come up towards half distance, so plenty of racing still to be run.
Coming down, oh, Rueda running out wide, so I wonder if we're going to get a track limits warning for him very soon. And he's in deep into the Jorge Lorenzo corner and through up into second. Maybe it's even a lead. David Salvador takes the opportunity like a rat up a drain pipe. Via was out wide, he followed Rueda in. And that was a very good move from Salvador up into second place, but Via will be looking to snap back immediately like he's shown he can right the way throughout this race, and he has done. But Salvador's going to cut back towards turn 2. Just for context, I was about to come in on 46.530. That was the pole position time. The fastest lap of this race is a 46.1, so the track temperatures are really allowing a good pace at the front.
Yeah, it is starting to heat up even just in the last 20 minutes since this race started, so it is going to get more and more difficult as this race goes on, but certainly as it is right now, everyone's just in the battle. But last time around they were 0.8 seconds slower than the previous lap, so this is where they are starting to scrap with one another. This is where for Rueda it's really important to stay at the front, and then if they start to battle with one another, then you're really able to take advantage of it.
Number 99, Jose Antonio Rueda, your race leader, your championship leader, has a track limits warning. We predicted it may well come, and it has come. So he's got to be careful. With 8 laps to go, it's a long way on a track limits warning. He's got to be so careful not to use too much curb. We've got that's Alex Gordon. It looks like he's holding a collarbone or something there. So a previous injury for the number 74, Alex Gordon, out of this race. Salvador back at the front is up into third place.
Yeah, Salvador on the 38, making sure that any time Piqueras makes a charge that he's able to answer straight back. We've seen Salvador keep himself in these positions, qualified in the third row of the grid, made a good start, and now he's trying to make sure he's able to hold on to a podium spot because he knows he can't give up any more points to Rueda at this stage of the championship. Rueda outside of track limits once again, so if he does that one more time after this, he'll be getting a long lap penalty. This is the long lap loop through the last corner.
Yeah, and I'm just got to say, Via, through the fast rights that end this lap was so much faster, and he kept it all on the island as well. So Colin Via really is in a really good position here, sitting in second, as long as he doesn't grab a track limits warning, which I haven't seen him go out onto the green so many times so far in this race. He should be in a good position if Rueda continues to exceed track limits. Rueda, Via, Salvador, Piqueras and Asman, that's your top 5, that's your breakaway group of 5. Out of shot in 6th place, Filippo Farioli started on the front row, couldn't convert it straight away, and he's just been dropped a little bit. He's down in 6th. Harrison Voigt, 7th. Adrian Cruces has really come up from 15th on the grid. That's a great ride from him up into the top 8. 9th is David Alonso, he started 4th. And Nicola Fabio Carraro completes the top 10. Britwatch, Eddie O'Shea in 13th, whilst back at the front, Colin Via is looking for the race lead as he shoves Rueda out of the way. Rueda's going to try and go around the outside. He'll have the inside for turn 7. Does he? Yes. Via wants to lean on him, but there's no hope. Rueda has got the lead. Salvador coming back into this as well. So come through turn 8. This is the Jorge Martinez asphalt corner into the stadium section. Everybody looking on, pensive faces all around. Salvador up into second, so it's the top 2 in your championship, first and second. Yeah,
Salvador, nice move through there in the rights in the stadium section, but now you're into the fast rights at the end of the lap. This is where you really do build momentum all the way into the last corner. Still got 6.5 laps to go, so you don't have to show your hand right now, but certainly for a lot of these riders, they'll want to try and show something, and you can see there that's a brave move from Salvador.
I think Rueda just got a little bit wide, and he shoved, Salvador shoved him wide again. That allowed Via to come through. So the blue and yellow bike, as Salvador's leading the red one, it's a trio of blue bikes, 3rd, 4th and 5th.
Yeah, as it is, it's a Husqvarna, a KTM out in front, and then 3 Hondas. The Husqvarna and the KTM, the same bike, and Colin Via now down the inside into turn 1. But it does look like at this stage, that bike's just a little bit more manageable out there than what the Hondas have. Certainly for Rueda, we've seen him look a little bit scruffy the last few laps.
Rueda straight back into second there, almost taking the back of Via. So now with 6 laps to go in a 16-lap race. Sorry. Oh, that's a move at turn 4. I didn't think so, surely. Rueda went for the apex there, but Via swept around him. So the number 95 of Via doing a very good job, whilst Rueda is eager to lead this race from the front. We said earlier, Steve, 16 laps of this. 2/3 race distance is crucial. We have seen it before where there has been a red flag for whatever incident or whatever problem there is. And if you lead at that point at 2/3 race distance, It is a full race win. It's 25 points, and Rueda won that 4th straight victory.
Yeah, certainly for Colin Vire out in front, he's chasing his first podium. David Salvador in the 38th, second in the standings. He's chasing his first win in Junior GP as well. So for these riders at the front, there's a lot still to play for, and that's why you're seeing Rueda on the 99 under a lot of pressure. Yeah, and Vire is doing a great job here. He's kind of taken over the mantle of Rueda. Rueda was looking very good at the front. Now Vire's looking very good at the front, albeit under a lot of pressure for sure. But he's never had a podium. He could be on for a victory. This would be something a bit special if Vire can hold on to this. We've got 5 and a bit laps to go. They're coming through the final sector. On the last lap, it's going to be so crucial, Steve, to get the run through here, to get the move done into the last corner. I think we're seeing a dress rehearsal, maybe? No, not this time. But how crucial is turn 12 into turn 13? Yeah, it's really all about exiting the stadium section from turn 10 really well. If you're able to do that, you carry your speed through 11, 12, and then down in towards turn 13 at the end of the lap. And if you can do that, you can set up some overtaking moves. But Jerez really is about linking one section to the next. Who would you put your money on, say, out of this group? You've got to look at Rueda, but he's also in a big scrap here with lots of riders. We didn't see that in Catalunya. Well, I wouldn't really trust too much what I said, because I said Farioli is 5 seconds off the race lead. But what we've seen so far in this race is that the 95 of Colin Vire, every time someone's been in front of him, he's tried to be aggressive and get himself back to the front. He knows this is his chance to win a race. We've seen at the back of this group, Harris on the 18's been very fast at the fastest lap of the race, but he's made a few mistakes as well. Asman's been thereabouts all the way through, same as Rueda, but it is a case of it's just going to come down to who's got that most comfort and who's feeling a little bit brave in the last lap. Salvador's feeling brave now. That was at turn 6, couldn't get the job done. Rueda takes a bit more of a sweeping line in, still gets it turned, but carries all the speed out. And that is a very good thing in the last sector. It's big, fast sweeping corners to build into that dead stop. Left-hander, turn 13, Jorge Lorenzo hairpin. We're going to be there very, very soon. We've only got 4 and a bit laps to go, really. Asman, the 63, looking at the 38 of David Salvador and Husqvarna, but can't get it done. Vire leading this one handsomely. Can he convert pole position? We're going to find out very, very soon. Yeah, and this is where I mean by building the momentum all the way through these right-handers at the end of the lap. This is one of the best places you can watch any sort of bike around the Jerez circuit. If you're able to stand on the outside of the track, you see riders carry all that speed, all that momentum. See a little bit too much momentum there for Vire. It's going to open the door, though, for the 99, but he chops straight back across the front of him. But this is the section of the track where it's all about the rider making a bit of a difference, using the slipstream for the riders around them, setting up moves down in towards the last corner or even into turn 1 if you want to try and make the move. But certainly with 4 laps to go, you'd expect to see it now where everyone keeps their powder dry. Yeah, this is further back. I was just going to come in and say, because you don't want to be pushing too much right now, because it's at that stage of the race where mistakes start to happen. This is further back. Number 29, Harrison Boy, solid top 6 ride this. Filippo Farioli, the number 7, in 7th place, started 3rd, showed great potential right through the course this weekend. We walked around yesterday, Steve, on Saturday, and he looked really, really good. Glued to the ground through turn 7 and 8. He had such a style. I don't know what's happened here. He's just got bumped back and not been able to show what he's capable of. Yeah, I was out trackside at the end of the qualifying session yesterday afternoon as well, and Farioli had a massive moment through turn 12. Maybe it spooked him a little bit coming into the race, because he's been fast in the last few rounds, Catalunya especially. He's been good during the course of the qualifying and practice sessions, but just hasn't quite had the pace in this race at this stage. But there's another race this afternoon as well. There is, and either way, it's still a big step forward for Farioli. He hasn't shown that kind of performance coming into this season, and it's consistent, if nothing else. It's still top gas. He's ahead of his teammate David Alonso, who's got more experience in that team. And really, with the ETC title that he took 2 years ago, you'd be expecting him to be a little bit further up than what he is. But he isn't, and that's that. He's in 8th place. Keep an eye on him later on. This is back at the front then. The number 95 of Colin Vire is looking very good here. He's keeping a very, very smart, smooth ride going right into the final part of this race. A little bit wide, but he gets the line back onto the straight, which is okay at this stage of the race. It's on the last lap that you can't leave the door open, and David Salvador yet to win a race as well. The top 2 in this race haven't won. Will be eager to capitalise on that. Rueda,
we've seen him fight back plenty of times throughout this race, but he's not done it just yet. Like you said, Steve, keeping the powder dry.
Yeah, what's interesting is, though, that pit board we saw, that was for Rueda and the team just reminding him that he has a track limits warning coming up with 3 laps to go. Obviously, if you exceed track limits on the last lap, it's a very different story than the rest of the race. You will be given a penalty immediately for that, but the team just making sure Rueda knows you've got to keep your nose clean at this stage.
And with a 39-point lead, Steve, he can afford to give away 4 if it's not crucial for him to absolutely finish ahead of Salvador. Of course he wants to win, and of course he's not thinking about that at this stage of the season, but it's a 39-point lead he's built up over the first 3 rounds of the year, so he does want to protect that if he can. Coming down into turn 6, this is the Dani Pedrosa corner. Expect to see some shuffling around in the next couple of laps here. We've only got 2 more times to get through it. We're in the last 2.5 laps now, and Colin Vire is leading this race very, very well. His brother Keanu actually won a British Talent Cup race at the start of the year, so it's in the blood. The next stars from the Netherlands are right here. If Vire can get this nailed from pole position, which was a shock to us on Saturday, we didn't see it coming. He's not even had a top 10 before this, and he goes away and gets a first podium as a win, well, that would be something brilliant, but Salvador wants to do something about it.
Yeah, he's got a couple of wins in the Rookies Cup this season and a lot of podiums as well, so he does have a fair bit of confidence. He had his wins in Portimao at the start of the season and then also at Mugello, so Vire does have some good confidence coming into from the Rookies Cup, but it's a very different set of stories whenever it comes to Junior GP. We see it a lot of riders really strong in one championship, struggle in the other, so it's good to see Vire really able to build that confidence and carry it forward here to Junior GP.
Yeah, he is very, very calm on the bike as well. Stu came up the inside. That was Ángel Nieto, the 18. Run it a bit wide though, and Asman's going to have him back into turn 2. So that's the battle for 4th place. If they do that too often, with 2 laps to go, they're going to find themselves slightly detached, like they're already becoming, from that podium battle. So we could have 2 groups to keep our eye on here, the top 3 and 4th and 5th. So let's see how it happens. But we're coming up to turn 5 to see Topon's corner. How crucial is this corner to make that move into turn 6?
And Vire looks really comfortable right now at this stage, but it is a case of what you're able to do when you're defending the slipstream. You can see here he takes that line that's going to take him down the right-hand side. Is going to try and force the other riders to try and go around the outside of him. He wants to make sure that he's protecting that inside line in the run into 6.
Rueda can't get up the inside of Salvador, so he tries the outside instead. Can't get it done there. Coming through turn 7, Vire still leading Salvador. Salvador at this point in time would take 4 points out of Rueda's lead. It would come down from 39 to 35. It would still be rather academic. Rueda would leave this race, regardless of, would leave this whole round actually, regardless of what happens with the championship leaders. Asman makes a move up the inside, tried to get it done, couldn't get it done. That was at turn 9 as the team are watching on. That's the AGR team. They've had a bit of misfortune this year in other classes, particularly Moto2. Sam Wilford was riding excellently in Estoril when he had the big crash that he's still not back from. We wish Sam Wilford all the best. We know he's getting better and better, but how good would it be for the AGR team to finally get on top of the box in the Junior GP class? We're coming into the final corner for the penultimate time. Rueda wants to put himself in a prime position on the last lap, can't get it done. So we are coming now onto the last lap. It is Colin Vire who is leading David Salvador, Jose Antonio Rueda. Asman's right there, Piqueras is back with them. It's a group of 5 abreast into turn 1. No moves made, but this lap is crucial. Where's the point we've got to look, Steve?
Rueda really strong on the brakes. He tried to make that move into turn 1. It just carried him a little bit wide. That's what opened the door for Salvador. But I think for the 99 of Rueda into that last corner, we saw how tight a line he could carry. He's got a bike that works really well on the brake point into there. That's where he's going to try and make his moves on the last lap, but he needs to make a move into 6 on Salvador as well.
Turn 5, crucial. You've got to keep the speed rolling right the way through this to get the run on the back straight. If you can call it a back straight, it isn't very long at all. We've got to crash further down.
That's going to be a yellow flag up the last corner.
It is yellow flags on the last corner. They're getting the bike away quickly now, but they still might be out into the last corner. Jose Antonio Rueda doesn't want to wait that long. He's still on the inside. Salvador pushes Vire. Vire shoves Rueda out back to 3rd. Vire somehow comes out of all of that. He went into it 3rd. He comes out leading. Salvador is 2nd. Track limits for Rueda, but I think he's up the inside. Yes, he is. Into 2nd place. Steve, this is going to the last corner.
Well, we've still got that yellow flag out at the last corner. We'll wait and see if it's been cleared at this stage. Salvador down the inside into the stadium complex.
Leaning on each other, this is the final run to home. We're coming through turn 10, building speed now. Fire hasn't been interrupted in this last couple of sectors. Sector 3, he was fast all the way through this race. Rueda tried to get through. Oh, big crash, Salvador. That's a turn 2, he gets caught up with the bike as well. Hopefully he's okay. He looks all right. Down into the final corner we go. Fire, surely he's going to have this. I can't see a way through. Fire, is he going to hold on? It's only a short burst to the line. Colin Vire hasn't had a podium. The Netherlands has never had a win, but they have now. A new star is born. Colin Vire takes victory ahead of championship leader Jose Antonio Rueda, and Ángel Piqueras, after all of that, takes third place. David Salvador chasing that first win, just caught out at turn 11. A disaster for Salvador. He will rue that mistake. That is so costly in the title race. What a race to get the programme underway. Colin Vire takes a career first win. He's had wins in Red Bull Rookies. He's in the title race there as well. But what a final lap. It had it all. Colin Vire with Jose Antonio Rueda, Ángel Piqueras on the podium. That is your podium. Fourth for Saifuddin Azman. Fifth, Filippo Farioli recovers to the top 5 after dropping out in the race really downfield. Harrison Voigt, a solid top 6 effort there. David Alonso, only 7th, whilst his teammate was up inside the top 5. A great ride from 15th on the grid for Adrian Cruces. Nicolo Fabio Carrara took 9th, and Noah Detweiler in 10th. David Almanza was 11th, 12th went to Luca Lanetta. Tachko and Bouazri back to 13th, Jabizura 2's a 14th, and a sole point, but back in the point scoring positions for Britain's Eddie O'Shea in 15th, just holds out Arvi Aditama. Mark Ruda in 17th, Philip Ton 18th. Alvaro Carpe, who's back in this class, he joined that class last time out in Catalonia, is 19th and completed the top 20, Rosenthaler. But what a race that was, a fantastic finish. Colin Vire had so much pace coming through the third sector, and particularly in the fourth sector. I thought Rueda would have a go, he couldn't get it done. The yellow flags had gone in for the accident that happened on the penultimate lap, but look how delighted Colin Vire is. He pulled a lovely wheelie through turn 3 and 4. Vire has delivered the goods here in Junior GP Race 1. 4 races still to go. If you're just joining us, you have missed an absolute belter. You will be able to catch up, of course, on a full race on our YouTube channel. Just find FIM Junior GP. What a thrilling encounter. It was a real battle. A true Jerez classic in Junior GP. 18 different winners now in Junior GP in this class at the circuit. Scott Ogden took a first victory at the circuit last year. David Munoz too. And other riders, they go on. Fabio Quartararo has done it. Nicolo Bulega, Iogura, Carlos Tatai, Ethan Guevara, Philip Ertl, to name all but a few. They are just some of the winners in this class at this circuit. And Colin Vire, well, look how happy he is. He's absolutely elated with that as he comes into pit lane. He will be in Parc Ferme in the Junior GP class for the first time this season. And that doesn't get any better than doing it with a victory. Look at what it means to them. I said on the in the closing of that race, the ADR team had bad luck, and of course some of that bad luck coming in Moto 2 with the big crash that we saw from Sam Wilford in Estoril. Sam's there, he's in the corner watching on, so great to see Sam back in the paddock, and we wish to see him on a bike. But Wilford, obviously a big accident, and the AGR team having to look elsewhere for their success after that. And wow, has Colin Vire delivered for them. Jose Antonio Rueda in second. Enough can't be said about him, because 20 very valuable championship points from that, because he was leading by 39 over Salvador. He was leading by 46, if my maths is correct, over Azman, and he's beaten both of them. So the championship now, whilst he goes and gets weighed and does all the official stuff, he is extending his lead. He would have liked to do it with a victory, though. Fast lap of the race went Ángel Piqueras, 46.1. I think that was set when he did exceed track limits, but either way, 46.1 for Piqueras. And Piqueras is coming into this title battle. Steve said that before this race got underway, there's only 12 points between second and sixth here. We're going to catch, this is the race-winning move, I believe, of Colin Vire going through on the number 95 AGR KTM, through on the Husqvarna. This was the crash. This is so fast. Turn 11. We've seen it before. It's you just launch the bike into the apex, and the front washes out, and this is down into the final corner. Vire was so strong on the brakes. He got everything done that he needed to do. Took the same line he'd taken all race long. We said that you can't afford to leave the door open, but it's almost as if he knew that he had that time behind him to be able to carry that line that he'd done all race. And quite understandably, the ADR team are elated. No track limits warning as well for Vire, so he'll be pleased about that. He didn't inherit it. He was done all on merit into the final few laps. He struck at the right time. That's the most impressive thing about it. But back to Ángel Piqueras. He was in sixth, but we're going to go to an interview now. Colin Vire is down in Parc Ferme with Steve English.
Colin Vire, your first win in the Junior GP. This is going to be a day you're going to remember for a long time.
Yeah, it was a great race. In the beginning, I wanted to lead, but then Jose came by. He pulled a little of a gap because Salvador also passed me because I went wide into the last corner. Then he had a little gap, and I managed to close it. And then on the last lap, so I tried to lead and try to get to see where I'm faster. And the last lap, I knew they were coming in turn 6, so I tried to close the line a little bit more. But on the end, they came by, and then I hit Salvador, hit me, and we hit each other like it was a train. Everyone hit each other. And then, yeah, on the end, I tried to close the line on the last corner, and I won. And I'm happy with this win.
Well done, Colin, and just your thoughts in Dutch as well.
Ja, het was een goede race. Eerste rondes waren lastig, voor mijn gevoel. Rueda reed weg en moest ik weer terughalen. Dus en op het einde probeerde ik de hele tijd te leiden. Het was wel lastig aan de ene kant, omdat ik de voorkant niet heel fijn vond in bocht 2. Dus het was lastig. Maar in de laatste ronde wist ik dat ze kwamen in bocht 6. Dus ik probeerde de lijn wat iets krapper aan te houden. Maar toch kwamen ze er in de binnenkant. Maar Rueda schoot wijd en ik dacht ik kan hem terughalen. Maar toen kwam Salvador, die zat daar tussen. Maar uiteindelijk weer op 1 gekomen. En uit de laatste bocht gewoon perfect uitkomen. En ik ben heel erg blij met deze overwinning.
Thanks, Colin.
I don't understand Dutch, but I think he got the last corner perfect. Colin Vire, your race winner, and this is how he did it. A great start from pole position. He got the whole shot. The first time he'd ever started from pole position. Championship leader Jose Antonio Rueda wasted no time. He was second by turn 2 and leading by turn 5. But the two would go on and have a great battle. Vire overtaking Rueda, Rueda snapping straight back, whilst the chasing pack got a grandstand view of it all. This was at turn 7. David Salvador was in third. He was also chasing the first race win. Vire almost tagged the back of Rueda early on. Salvador came through, and it was Colombia's David Alonso who was also in the mix before he would go on to fade. Ángel Piqueras, the man in form and chasing the first victory too, was right in the mix and inside the top 5 from 6th on the grid, along with Saifood and Asman. Plenty of hard moves throughout the race. That was David Salvador in the last corner on Vire, but Vire was having none of it. He got back through on Salvador. Piqueras got into the podium positions at one point, but Jose Antonio Rueda did lead the majority of the race. Through the final couple of sectors, and it was very clear that Vire had the pace. That was a mistake from Rueda, who at this point had a track limits warning to deal with as well. We're on to the last lap here. Asman was having a look at both Salvador and Rueda. Salvador got through on the championship leader. This was actually the last lap, it turns out to be. 5 abreast into the first turn. Vire leading ahead of Rueda. Salvador trying to take the opportunity, and he tried too hard. He lost the front, he tucked away, and out he went. That's a costly error. Into the final corner, Vire got the job done. He held the perfect line and took his and the Netherlands' first victory. Absolutely fantastic. He didn't do a bad wheelie to celebrate either. Colin Vire, your race winner. He moves inside the top 10 in the championship. Will he repeat it in race 2? And it is time for the podium ceremony now. And what a race that was. It'll be the team representative for AGR Racing who comes up first. So a fantastic achievement for the AGR team. Their first win of the season. Let's not forget that as a team achievement. Third for Ángel Nieto. Championship leader Jose Antonio Rueda makes it a second place, whilst race winner Colin Vire will be getting the Dutch national anthem any moment now. First, though, it seems it's going to be the trophies. And the director of the FIM, Frank Vassai, takes the honours in doing the team's representatives. Whilst it'll be 2 Spaniards on the podium here at Jerez. That'll get the local fans on their feet. And there's plenty of celebrations down in pit lane. Jose Antonio Rueda gets the second place trophy. And like I say, extends his championship lead. But it's a first win for Colin Vire. Fantastic stuff. A first win for him and a first win for the Netherlands. Maybe now we'll be getting the Dutch national anthem for the first time in Junior GP.
Para que vea repetir este carrerón que se acaba de marcar. En su honor, escuchamos el himno nacional de Holanda. Fuerte el aplauso para Colin Vire, el vencedor.
That's the end of the Dutch national anthem. We eventually got there, so fantastic stuff. Colin Vire with a race win. Steve, he spoke very eloquently in Parc Ferme, and he's got the chance to do it again later on.
Yeah, it was a really impressive race victory by Vire, and very comfortable down there in Parc Ferme as well, just chatting to him off camera. So it's good to see that from Colin, and certainly you'd expect to see that in this afternoon's race he'd be able to carry that form through as well.
Yeah, we shall see whether he can do that from pole position. We should be getting a great race coming up later for Junior GP. It really was one of the best here. What a way to open the day at Jerez. Plenty of celebrations on the podium. They can do that. It's not Prosecco, so it won't make their leathers too sticky. I think it's just fizzy water. Hope they'd pick the plastic bottles up, of course. We don't want them to be left around. But we should be getting a look at the race results, and I think this is it. So, Colin Vire with a first race win. Jose Antonio Rueda extends his championship lead over his main rivals with a fine second. Ángel Nieto, 2 Spaniards on the podium. He was third. Asman Farioli, Voigt, Alonso, Cruces and Carraro completing the top 9. And we'll have a look further down the field very, very soon. It was a great race all the way through. Switzerland's Noah Detweiler coming home in 10th. David Almanza slipping to 11th. Luca Lanetta, Tachakorn Bawazwi of Thailand in 13th. Jabi Zuratuza, 14th. Eddie O'Shea back in the points of 15th. Just edged out Arbi Aditama and Marcos Ruda. Philip Ton in 18th. Alvaro Carpe, expect him to come on strong as this season progresses. It's his first year in the class. He was 19th. Jacob Rosenthaler, Jacob Rulston, Torrin Collins, Alessandro Morossi, Mattia Volpi and Teo Gordon, his brother Alex, retired, looked like, with a collarbone injury. David Salvador crashed on the last lap. How costly is that going to be when we get to the season finale at Valencia? Championship standings, Jose Antonio Rueda is the first to break into a lead of more than 50 points. 53 is his advantage over Saifuddin Asman, who moves in to be his main rival. Angel Piqueras up from 6th to 3rd. Felipe Farioli 4th, David Alonso and David Salvador, not good for Team David, 5th and 6th. They slip down the order. Adrian Cruces in 7th, David Almanza completes the top 10, 99 back. It is a really strong total for Jose Antonio Rueda. His teammate Facundo Yambias, the Uruguayan, not here. He had shown great potential back at round 1, but injury has ruled him out. He's 15th. Eddie O'Shea on the British Talent Team Honda is 18th. He'll be looking to make some more point scoring races as the season progresses, including later on today, where race 2 of Junior GP will be coming up. Before all that though, the Hawkers European Talent Cup is next. We'll be able to bring you that in just a moment. Let's have a final look at race 1 winner of the day in Junior GP, Colin Veijer, a first winner from the Netherlands.